Hello again, and welcome to another squishy makeover video where I will be trying to recreate some of Moriah Elizabeth's characters. Just a little disclaimer, this is a fan video, this is by no means meant to copy her or to make fun of her. I really try my best here. I'm a huge fan of her channel, I watch every video, so yeah, just keep that in mind. It's all credit goes to Moriah Elizabeth. In this video I will already try not to show you the result, but this is the Eustace squishy I made in the first squishy makeover repaint video, and you know, I kind of repainted him again because he looked pretty sad. And this one isn't finished yet, so I can show you. We're gonna make Georgie. So this is in progress. You'll see me, you know, making him and painting him. So yeah, let's get to the video, and thank you for watching. So here you see some footage of the first video I made where I tried to recreate Eustace from Moriah Elizabeth's original characters. And as you know, if you watch a video, probably knew I used oil paint. Like I said, and oil paint is a very thick paint. It also dries very slow, so a lot of you are probably like, why the hell are you using that? But yeah, in the end I regret everything. Well, not everything, to be honest. I like the experience. So I'm gonna sand down the oil paint as much as I can, or as best as I can. Because the problem I also had with especially the brown paint, the brown oil paint, I don't know why, it just kept, it just wouldn't dry, I think. Like, it kept coming off. If you like touched it, you would have like a little bit of residue on your hand left. So yeah, very annoying. And in the end I actually had the same problem with the brown leather paint, which I didn't have with the other squishies where I used this paint. Maybe the oil paint base is a problem for that. But yeah, that's why I decided to seal the squishy in with varnish at the end of painting everything, which is a really weird thing to do, but I did it. And I like it because the squishy is now very shiny. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. So basically I'm just painting over everything and keeping the same colors. So the body itself is going to be brown again. And then I'm mixing this green with white so that I can get a mint green color, or as good as I can. And then using yellow for the cone, and the yellow was very like running, so I will actually have this very big drip coming at the side of Eustace, but I decided to go with it and just, you know, make it a very big drip of the mint ice cream. And then the cherry is going to be red again. So here you see me repainting the cone, and you know, the paint is running into one another, but it's fine. Let's just work with it. So now I'm adding the details, you know, the highlights on the cherry, and then the face. And the face was, it was a mess again. I'm not good at this, like this small details, and my hand is shaking and it's just not working. So I first painted the face white because I thought, oh, it's gonna stand out like that, that's gonna look nice. But then they weren't even at all, and the whiskers, as you can tell, what a mess. And then I decided to keep the white as a background and then paint with a smaller brush like a brown eye in it, but then it all got messy and also too thick, so I decided to wipe it off and just basically start again with the white. I'm also adding the chocolate chip details and some details on the ice cream cone, but as you can tell I still have a lot of practice to go with small details. And then I'm adding the varnish, and yes, this is me adding a blob of dried varnish out of the new varnish because I just, you know, it got stuck in the tube, whatever. And yes, I'm sealing the squishy, which is a very weird thing to do because I thought this either is going to work or it's going to crack. So now let's start with Georgie. When I had this pineapple squishy in the box I got, I just had to make Georgie. Georgie is so cute. He's a duckling, a pineapple duckling, and I love everything about him. So, you know, this is me just sanding it down again. And the fact that I had a pineapple squishy was so handy because I had a perfect base to work off. Then I also had this cat hamburger squishy that didn't squish at all. It was really awful. And I decided to cut some pieces off of this one and then create the flippers, the feet and the arms with it, because George is like in this waving position. And this was, oh my god, so hard. I think this is the first time I tried to shape something out of this foam, you know, to add it to the squishy, instead of using existing shapes like a cherry or an ice cream cone. And yo, this was so hard, oh my god. And then the fact that I had to try and recreate equal parts as well, you know, that the 2 feet had to line up and then the 2 arms had to line up, and this took so long. It was like cutting and cutting again, and so much respect to Moriah Elizabeth for the patience she has, because I was just like giving up on this point. I think the footage is about a minute long, maybe 2, but this took me, I think, half an hour, maybe even longer, and it was so frustrating. And in the end, it's not even perfect, not even close to perfect, but I was just like, okay, you know what, I don't care anymore, let's just wing it. Really so annoying process. And also with these parts, I'm just adding the fake nail glue, the super glue, and then wrapping it up together with rubber bands. And some of my glue actually ran out onto the rest of the body of the pineapple, because when I tried to take the rubber band off, I actually got some foam with it. So that's why my Georgie is very textured, sorry. And yes, here I'm actually using acrylic gesso to cover up the holes, like the spaces you have from adding other squishies to the main squishy. And I just wanted to see, does that work as well? But then I again decided to go in with fabric glue, puffy paint. And this took so many coats of 3D paint as well, because my arms were very misshapen. I also had to, put some, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fix this with the 3D paint, right? I'm just gonna layer it very thick and then it will get a nice shape. Basically sculpt with 3D paint, and that also took a lot of layers and also a lot of drying time. But because it's winter, as I made these squishies, the heating is actually on in the house. So what I would do is, whenever I had painted one layer of paint onto the squishy, I would actually put it on my heater so that it would dry faster, and it actually worked. So I managed to finish the squishy in 3 days. It took me a total of, because all of the drying process, and also because I had to make sure that I was filming with natural light. So I had to make sure it was light outside. And the sun goes down here in Belgium at around 4 or 5 p.m. It already gets dark. And then with this one as well, because I do want to keep a lot of the yellow paint, because Georgie is yellow, I decided to only cover up the 3D paint with white paint as a base. And yeah, because yellow is also very light, it took me quite a few coats of yellow to cover everything up. And then when I had the yellow down and the green, I only needed to mix a color for the feet, so the orange, and for his beak. This is me trying to paint the beak. I was realizing as I was painting it, like maybe I should have done it 3D, like glued a beak onto his face and that would look better. But in the end, now it doesn't bother me as much. But while I was painting it, I was like, oh, this looks awful. But I also couldn't be bothered to, you know, shape something again out of foam. I was like, oh my god, no. And then the mouth was gonna be all crooked. No, I might as well just paint it. And yeah, I don't think it only started to look to me as Georgie or like Georgie when I added the highlights in the eyes, and I was like, oh my god, it is Georgie. I think this one looks better than the Eustace one, although I do like the revamping of the Eustace I did. But yeah. Oh yeah, painting the mouth, like the line of his mouth was such a mess as well though. Yeah, that didn't really work out that great, but whatever. Here is Georgie, and I have some air trapped in him somewhere. I don't know how I did that, but whatever. He still squishes very nice, and I think he looks adorable. So thank you again for watching. All credits for these characters goes to Moriah Elizabeth. Make sure to check out her channel. It is linked down below. And I hope to see you again in another video. Take care. Bye bye.